All right. Good evening, everybody. This is the Philly City edition. We are hitting y'all after a 6-0 start by the Philadelphia Eagles. The city is live right now. We understand, we got the 76ers on. We got the Philadelphia Phillies in the National League Championship Series. But right now we're gonna take a little bit of y'all's time to talk about this undefeated team and where we're at right now from the beginning to the middle, and maybe give a way ahead for the rest of the season and what we see and what could be better, what might just stay the same. I'm with my guy Marv, man. I'm with my guy Eric Dorsey, and talk to him, people.
Well, you got it, Swerve. Go ahead, man. While I go ahead and grub on this good
Well,
food and watch the Sixers. Go ahead, brother.
fir- first of first of all, good evening. Um, you look good, you smell good, you play good. So this is where I'm at with it right now. I've been quiet for the first 6 weeks. It's a bye week, so I don't got no game to talk about this Sunday. So I'm just great. I'm great. Talk my talk for a little while. Not even ready. Y'all got TGI swerve, right? Y'all got TGI swerve tonight. I'm sitting in TGI right now. They got the Sixers on one TV. We got the Phillies coming up. The Flyers are 2-0. The city is live. We live, baby. The city is popping right now. In the words of my man A Walk, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. I got my shades on. I'm feeling like Dion on draft. I'm feeling like Dion at the combine. What pick y'all on? Y'all got 10th pick. Oh, I ain't even gonna be on the board at that point. So I ain't even gonna be on the board. So that was me talking to Dallas. I'm no longer discussing that game. I'm no longer discussing Sunday night. I'm no longer discussing Sunday night. Sunday night was what it was. It is what it is. I don't want to hear about us beating y'all back up because in week 16 or 17 last year, y'all played Gardner Minshew, and they called me to play that night. They was like, Swerve, you want to play that night? I was like, no, I'm cool. And y'all beat up on an Eagles team, and y'all bragged about sweeping the Eagles playing they backups, and now y'all want to say, "Oh, y'all play their backup quarterback." This is the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm going on my rant early, so I'm not ranting the rest of the night. Let's have a Dak Prescott discussion. Dak is 7-3 against the Eagles. Dak has a win in which he threw two interceptions and passed for 152 yards and completed less than 50% of his passes, but he won that game. Like, there's no guarantee that if Dak plays, the Cowboys win because Dak isn't. Y'all talking like Dak is Peyton Manning. Y'all talking like Dak is Tom Brady. Y'all talking like Dak is elite. Dak is not elite at all. You can't spell interception without DAK. I know y'all don't get that. Y'all might not be English majors like myself, but you can't spell interception without DAK. And I mean Dak had a three interception game against the Eagles. He's had a QB rating of 70 and thrown two interceptions and 178 yards and one, like against the Eagles. So the 7-3 is not. They won in spite of Dak. Like the Cowboys beat the Eagles in spite of Dak on two or three occasions. Like, so I don't want to hear that Dak is 7-3 and he would have been the difference maker. No, we played Cooper Rush. We beat Cooper Rush. You play who's in front of you. We're 6-0. We we beat everybody that's in front of us. We beat everybody that's in front of us. So y'all can't knock us for being 6-0. We played the schedule that we were handed. Like, first of all, they showed y'all win percentages of last year and said, "Oh, y'all have this weak schedule, and the Cowboys have such a strong schedule." The Cowboys beat the Bengals, who Bengals, and they beat the Rams, who look like the Rams are horrible. So I don't want to hear they beat both the teams in the Super Bowl, and you beat both the teams in the Super Bowl with Cooper Rush at quarterback. So don't all of a sudden change the scenario and be like, "Oh, we were playing with our backup." No, you were playing with an undefeated guy, a guy who was undefeated as a starter, who beat the Rams and the Bengals, who both played in the Super Bowl last year. So I don't want to hear that we're playing with a backup because just before Sunday, it was a quarterback controversy in Dallas as to not rush Dak back because we're winning these games with Cooper Rush, so we don't necessarily need to rush Dak back. But all of a sudden, they play a top-notch defense, and it's like, oh, you beat their backup. I'm not trying to hear we beat a backup. We beat Cooper Rush here for the Cowboys. The Eagles won a Super Bowl with their backup quarterback. Am I not mistaken?
Correct.
Am I not mistaken? The Pittsburgh Steelers just knocked off the Tampa Bay Bucks with their backup quarterback.
Right.
Came in relief. So I don't want to hear about backup quarterbacks. I want to hear about what happened Sunday night. And that's all I care about. Like I got my shades on, I got my hood on, I got my hat on. I'm living life, man. I wish I could come live from the hot tub right now because I really, 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 really feel like at 6-0, I deserve this. I earned this, man. My boy number one is showing out. He's making plays, and I'm just excited. Like I'm excited going into a bye. I'm excited. I'm excited, and I'm gonna end my rant there. You can go ahead, Dorsey. I done took about 4-5 minutes of the good people's time.
Yeah, because I want to go last on this one. I definitely want to go last on this one, man.
All right, man. I ain't gonna be long, man. I'm reading the the messages in the chat. I'm loving it. My sister's on here. Got my boy brother Lawrence on here. I call him the source. Y'all want to know anything Eagles related? My man's got it like days in advance. Like that's my guy, and he said it. A dub is a dub. It's not about style points. And you got my boy Swerve in here with his Macho Man Randy Savage glasses on. He feeling good. He's feeling good out here. And I'm with you, man. I'm gonna keep it short and to the point. I got let me see. Hold on. Peep the shirt. Peep the shirt right there. A Dallas. You dig? That's how I'm feeling. At the end of the day, you play who's on the schedule. It is what it is. You feel me? We won the game. That's what it was about. I don't care who's at quarterback for you. I don't care who's at center. I don't care who's at receiver. I don't care who's at running back. You play who's on the schedule. We won the game. I'm over that. On to bye week, rest, kick your feet up, spend time with your family. Let's get ready for Pittsburgh, man. That's where I'm at with it. You got it, Black. You got it.
I'm going to tell y'all like this. I'm going to run this down for y'all, right? So we get to week 2, right? After week 1, because I don't want to belabor this. Week 2, right? That goes down. The season's over, right? Week 5, they win 4 in a row with Cooper Rush, right? They tell everybody, we don't know. We We might just keep Cooper in there until things change up. He might be the future. We might be able to do something. Right? So then we get to week 6. And then I'm on Twitter. Everybody is out there, follow me at Imagine_Life2 there. But I'm on Twitter. So you get there, right? And it's funny to see the mental roller coaster Dallas fans went on. First is the excuses. If y'all beat us without our quarterback, right? We don't have enough there. Y'all play the backup. We won like Marv said, we won the Super Bowl with a quarterback. I ain't gonna cuss because we don't want to get my man's podcast taken down, right? So Wednesday we get to it. I think we got a sneaky suspicion that the Cowboys gonna win, and then the Eagles fans is gonna whine and complain. That was Wednesday. Friday we get to Friday. We're gonna put up 40 on the Eagles. They don't know what they got coming from them, right? The day of, we about to murder them. By 11:30 at night on Sunday, I heard every excuse known to man why they got their ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like something where, they were like, oh, Michael Parsons did this. Well, nah, that's not what happened. You know what I'm saying? Well, DeMarcus Lawrence is going to do this. I don't know what Hurts looks like. Well, we know Hurts made you fall 3 times that game, right? You had no sacks that game, DeMarcus Lawrence. That's what we know.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, he said we don't know how good they are. They haven't played the Dallas Cowboys yet.
Now they
Man,
have. Now they have, right?
man.
Oh, they're not going to score enough. You know, we're the best defense in the league. Well, the Eagles put up 26. Well, they got some of them late. Who cares when you get them? As long as you get them within a 60-minute time frame. And they got 26 of them on the supposed best defense in the league. And the best defense in the league held you to 17. Is that a fact or is it not? What Cowboys fans need to do is stop the darn crying. Be accountable. You lost. You thought you were better than you were, and you're not. That's not saying that you can't improve, but stop the excuses. The L is an L, period. And y'all know, J Tuck, who all out here and all your fan base, you know who I'm talking to y'all directly. I'm online.
Hey,
So you can find me anywhere.
Hey.
Anywhere.
You can find me at TGI Fridays on right now.
By the way, don't tell me about Christmas Eve. I don't want to hear about Christmas Eve because that might not even matter by then.
I was just going to say that.
It won't.
And I'm about to definitely get off the Cowboys because
we gotta get off of them because it's go ahead.
I'm not worried about Christmas Eve. The Sixers play on Christmas Day, fam. By then the division is gonna be wrapped up, hopefully, and we're gonna be looking forward to bigger and better things in the number 1 seed, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm definitely not entertaining. Like I kept quiet. Y'all know me. I usually talk regardless of if we good or not. Like I'm an Eagles fan, I'm a Sixers fan, I'm a Flyers fan. This is what I do. I support the Phillies. I talk reckless regardless, but it was just something. So it was something. This is what I'm going to say to y'all. And
it was too blatant for 368 days. It was blatant.
As diehard Philly fans, it was. I felt like in week 16 was it week 16 or 17 when we had already had the spot where we couldn't move up and we played the Cowboys and Minshew got the start and the Cowboys played their start here, right?
Right.
And they ran the score up. Like they blatantly disrespected us, right? And the Cowboys fans was
so justified. It was justified. It was justified. They sucked at the team,
right?
But we didn't make excuses for it.
No, we didn't. Hey, y'all beat us. They were so hyped, right? So like I watched that game, and it left a bad taste in my mouth. Like it falls, but it left a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm just like, you know what? This was really disrespectful because Dallas wasn't playing for anything either, right? Dallas wasn't playing for anything either. I mean, they might have been playing for one, but it was just like they came out and they could have pulled Dak after they got up early, but they let Dak rock out, right? They let Zeke and the boys rock out, and it was just like, oh, this is what y'all doing. This is really how y'all get ready to go. And y'all gonna go do this, and then their fans was all hype, like, "Oh, we swept y'all, we beat y'all by 20 both times." All right, cool. So look, cool. I ain't even feel that. I'm like, all right, this is definitely. I bookmarked it. I said we gonna come back to this because I knew I didn't expect it. Once we got AJ Brown, then we got Jordan Davis, and then you get to add Kazir, and then you add Bradbury, and then you get CD, and you're like, oh, we got a squad. Like we went from cats that, oh, will the Eagles make the playoffs again, to are the Eagles Super Bowl contenders. So this date was circled on my calendar simply because of the way the Cowboys behaved season, right? So I went out there and I watched the game on Sunday, and the Eagles. Like I said, I'm not going to talk too much about Sunday because I'm over. I didn't say too much. I expected the Eagles to dominate. And the first half is what they did. They went out there. They didn't. They took the run away, and they made Cooper Rush beat him. They took the rush away, and they made Cooper Rush beat him. Cooper Rush couldn't beat him. Boom,
Where
and
was
that's
CD
what
Lamb
happened.
though? Where was CD
No,
Lamb?
that's what, and I'm about to get there. I'm about to get there. I'm about to get there. So you took the rush away, and you made Cooper Rush beat you. You had C.D. Lamb, you had Michael Gallup. Oh, it's easy to beat Steve Nelson. It's easy to beat Steve Nelson. But ain't no pass rush. When you ain't got no pass rush, it's easy to get off on Steve Nelson, right?
Yeah,
It's easy. It's
absolutely.
easy to get off. If Devontae Maddox on the outside, it's easy to get off on them. Hey, what happened now? Hey, teams a little bit more matched up evenly now. Oh, y'all don't have that same pep. Y'all don't have that same spunk. Y'all don't have that. When I told Cats, they told Sirianni last year, after they beat their backups, they said the Eagles deserve to play on the same field as the Cowboys. Fam, y'all have a losing record against us this century. This century. Like I don't want to hear about that. I don't like you said earlier, Black, you addressed it. Y'all ain't even I don't even consider them rivals. Their fans are just
I
douches.
don't.
And they just talk so much. Like they talk so heavy. They talk so heavy and it's just disgusting.
I don't.
Like fam,
And that's one thing. That's one thing real quick. I want to address, man. I don't consider them a rival. I never will. One, because true rivals can admit that even just amongst fans, that if you lose, you take that L. You know where you need to improve, you move on. Cowboys fans can't do the same. They're mentally everywhere. They're everywhere except where their actual attention needs to be on wins and losses. That's it. Every time they lose, it's an excuse. Well, we got 6 rings. Nobody cares about stuff that happened in 1975, bro. No one cares. It's over.
hey, let me ask y'all a question. When the Cowboys won their last Super Bowl, Black, what grade was you in?
Bro, I think I might have been in it might have been the ninth grade, the 10th grade, one of the two. Either way,
Dorsey grade?
I wasn't at my mom's house.
Yeah, what grade was you in, Dorsey, when the Cowboys won their last Super Bowl?
What was that? 96.
We was in Gun and Bedford, or no? We was in Gun and Bedford. We might have
Was it?
been. If Black
Yeah.
was in ninth grade, we was in eighth grade.
Yeah, it was about that time.
Yeah, about 96. Yeah, we
We
were
was
we were
either in eighth.
young, man.
We was young boys.
We was young.
We was young. That's what I told somebody. And I said I'm not giving them no more energy after today. It was like, yo, but we got 5 rings. I said, bro, that's the equivalent of me being this equivalent. This is what it is. It's like this. Imagine if I invested in stocks, right? And I woke up tomorrow a millionaire, like 500 million in my bank account. And somebody we went to school with was like, I was the homecoming king in eighth grade. You feel what I'm saying? That's what Cowboys fans are right now. They want to tell you, oh, you're doing really well in life, but don't forget I won homecoming king. I won homecoming king in eighth grade. I have no discussion. I have no rap for y'all if that's what you get. When you start losing, you be like, but don't forget I was homecoming king in eighth grade. Bro, I got my shades on. I'm too busy looking good, styling on these Cowboys fans right now. Man.
I
Bro, no
told you,
one.
man.
It's the worst thing, cuz. The worst thing is just the legit, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say about it. The legit lack of just common sense, man. The legit lack of common sense. Like you lost because you just were not the better team. You know what I'm saying? Like own that. Stand on that. If you tell me, all right, we understand where we at, we got to get better. We gonna do something else. I can roll with that. But well, they did this. Wait until Christmas Eve, bro. Just shut the hell up with that crap, man. Just shut up. accept your loss and move on. So that's it on that subject. That's it on that subject, man. So now we at 6-0. Where do y'all think, if there are any areas they can improve on, where do y'all think they can improve as a team?
Special teams. No ifs, ands, or buts. Special freaking teams. Good God, man. Listen. I like Michael Clay. I like our special teams coach. We went through this earlier, before the season started. We talked about Tracy Rocker. We talked about Gannon. We went over all these dudes, man. Special teams, because at the end of the day, if we don't give up a 62-yard kickoff return, we go into the half 20-0. And I'm all about points and keeping teams down. But instead, he gets this huge return. They get in field goal range. I mean, they actually, if my man Noah Brown could have kept his feet in bounds, that's a touchdown. They get a touchdown, but instead it gets called back. They kick the field goal. It's 20-3. Our special teams all season have been an issue. I like Britton Covey. I told you before, I was excited about the kid. I wanted to see what he could do, what he could bring to the table. But I'm at the point now between Covey and the actual special teams, like the kickoff team, punt team. We need to take this time during the bye week, look at the film, call up a veteran or two, and host some tryouts, man. Because that right there is going to kill us every single week, is that teams are getting their starting position is too high. Our punter still hasn't figured it out. And I look at it and I say, man, listen, I'm not worried. I'm with you, Black. I'm not worried about the second half. We haven't had to really compete in the second half. Other than, that last drive, we really haven't had a reason to compete in the second half. I'm not concerned about second half points. What I'm concerned about is the fact that in order to win another Super Bowl, you have to be good at all three facets of the game, man. And right now, we're only good at two. Our special teams is terrible. That's what I'm going to say, is that right there.
I agree. So I'm going to say special teams. I'm going to take my glasses off once we're done talking about the Cowboys game. Special teams, definite. Special teams, definite. Definitely special teams. Again, like you said, I think that drive, that return gave the Cowboys life. Because I think if you go in 20 to nothing, it's a completely different team. And if Noah Brown that was a great catch. If he actually gets his feet in, and that's a 6, it's a 7. They go on 27. I believe it's a total different game. It's a total different game. I will say this before I go ahead and address what I'm about to say. I'm going to say this first because before I dig deep and talk slick about them, I need to give them the credit that they deserve. Prior years, the Eagles lose this game on Sunday night. In years past, they lose this game on Sunday night. They lose the Arizona game. They lose the Jacksonville game. This team has shown me that they have multiple ways to win, and they don't get down and they bounce back. Because we watched the game where they got down 14-0 in Jacksonville, and there was no panic. It was just calmness. This is what we need to do. And they came out and executed, right? Then we watch a game in Arizona where the kicker missed the field goal. In normal years, make that field goal, and we go into overtime and we lose that game. And we're on here instead of talking about, we're 5-0. We're talking about what we could have done to become 5-0, right?
Right.
Then Sunday night, we watch a game where we're dominating in the first half and we're up 20 points, and Turpin returns a kick and puts them in position to get points. And thankfully, they got 3 instead of 7. But then they came back and they completely dominated.
Hey, Marv, real quick, I want to address Big D, man. No, don't matter. No excuses on Hurts. Right now, fam. Hurts is doing something that we aren't really accustomed to at the quarterback position in Philly as of right now. The reason I say that is, and there's no disrespect to you, bro. This man isn't turning over the ball, right? We keep hearing this narrative, game manager. Well, he's managing the game while helping the team succeed. You know what I'm saying? Because he's doing what he needs to do. I'm not asking him to do 1,000 things. I'm asking him to do the basics. As long as you don't turn over the ball, make sure the ball is going down the field, make the right decisions. Is he going to miss a couple passes? Yes. Is he going to get sacked a couple times trying to get out of a situation that sometimes necessarily might just have to go down? Yes. However, look, like Marv said, last year there would have been some turnovers due to the lack of experience, lack of understanding or reading defenses, trying
Lack
to
of
do too
weapons.
much. Right. And getting a little scared in the pocket and trying to break out. Right. He's not doing that now. He's making good decisions. And that's all I'm asking of him. So if he throws 16 or what was it, 11 for 17 or 18 for 155 or whatever it is, and it's 2 rushing touchdowns or whatever the case may be, I'll take it. If it means no turnovers and putting the defense in a bad situation. And they
Yes.
still put up 26 points.
Yes.
That's it.
So
Keep doing what he's doing. So
20 special teams. We go in 20-3. It could have been 20-0 if we stopped them because their offense had no momentum. So special teams, I'm definitely with you on special teams. I'm 100% with you on special teams. Everybody keeps saying we need this edge rush, which, like we addressed, Quinn. Quinn got 33 million left on his deal. I don't think Quinn is an option at this point, and the Panthers probably won't let go of Burns, even though they're going to go into a complete rebuild. But let me ask y'all this: our defensive line, y'all keep saying we need sacks, but Fletch is. And Joe addressed this earlier. Fletch looks old. Fletch looks old. I think Fletch has been playing. They're playing Fletch too much. They're playing Fletch a little bit too much, and I think it's for two reasons. Because they don't want Hargraves to get busy, so they have to pay him big money. And I think Marvin Williams has regressed. But Marvin Williams' regression is due to not getting the snaps that he was supposed to get because we
He's
drafted
right.
Jordan Davis. So, hey, Matt, DJ signed with the Ravens about 4 hours ago, bro. Um,
Yeah, he gone. He
so
gone, man.
I think like we're playing Fletch too much on defense because on a Zeke touchdown, you can see Fletch got blown off the ball, right? Fletch got blown off the ball, and then there was a chance for him to actually make the tackle on Zeke, and he didn't make the tackle for two reasons. Either he was really, really tired, he didn't want to run into Kazir because Kazir was chasing Zeke from the back. And he was either really tired and didn't have the energy to make the tackle, or he didn't want to run into Kazir. But Fletch is playing. I think Fletch should be playing half of the snaps at most. And right now, I think he's at like 65%. I think he's at like 65% right now. So we Fletch down, and we need to let Marvin Williams, or we need to let Hargraves get a little bit more busy and fill in for Fletch a little bit, especially like when you're up 20 points, get Fletch off the field. But other than that, I think the improvement has to come with this. I want to run him back. I want to run him back.
Yeah,
But
it's a
other
couple
than
of
that,
them.
I mean, I'm fine. If you can get an edge rusher, Burns and I just said his name, Chicago Quinn. They're great, but nobody's coming off them. I'm really unless you're going to impact the team immediately and pretty much put us in position to be great, but not affect the cap. I don't want you because I think the Saints keep losing. We're going to get Anderson here, and we're going to get Anderson next year. And I agree with you, Jason. I think Davis is good, but he's not ready to be that. They don't believe he's ready to be that. He's not ready to be the 55-60% guy like that, and that's why Fletch is getting those reps. But I think Davis you have to work his way in, and you have to trust him because I think Fletch is showing wear and tear, and that touchdown run by showed me that Fletch isn't the same guy. Like I mean, and not disrespecting the tackle from the Cowboys because that tackle was top 5 pass blocker, top 5 run blocker by any PFF. Shout out to PFF because they Jordan had them on a couple times, and I forget his name, Swindell or whatever, is definitely top 5 in run blocking and pass blocking, and he blew Fletch off the ball. He won that rep. He definitely won that rep, but it's the way he off the ball, and then the effort after that. Granted, they was running no huddle and Fletch might have been gassed, but you got to at least try to make that tackle. You got to at least try to make that tackle.
Yeah,
I'm done talking Cowboys, so the glasses are off. We talking other shit, stuff now, so the glasses are off.
Yeah, Fletch, and they need to tighten up on his snaps, man. You know what I'm saying? However they got to do it, just tighten up on them. The two places I think I can look for improvement, or if they can get a guy, is when Chauncey went down, man. Good Lord, bro. My man Wallace didn't know where he was supposed to be. That touchdown, granted, yeah, Fletch could have ran it down from the back, but Wallace took a crazy angle, and then Zeke took and went left and left him there. Like I'm like, bro, like what angle were you taking? If you just would have took a straight, if you just would have took a straight line right through that line, Zeke would have had to either try to go left, which he would have ran, or he had to go right, which he would have ran right into the linebacker, or he would have had to go a little bit more on a straight line to the left, and somebody could have got him at that point. But I don't know what. That's a couple of times, man. I didn't know what Wallace was doing back there, bro.
He's so disappointing.
Yeah, so to me, they need get another backup safety, bro, and then special teams. That's another thing that, like you said, like Covey ain't it, man. Covey ain't it. Like
he ain't ready. He ain't ready.
And he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be Cam Chancellor 2.0 coming out of college, right?
Oh, Wallace, yeah.
Wallace was supposed to be Cam Chancellor because at Clemson, that boy looked good, but he looked amazing. But then again, when I look at it, he was playing with AJ Terrell,
Mullen,
and
lead,
and Simmons was in front of him. Isaiah Simmons was in front of because AJ Terrell, like I know Pat Surtain is out there doing work, and Pat Surtain is doing work in Denver, but AJ Terrell has to start getting mentioned.
Nah, he had enough time. It's
funny
AJ
Terrell is doing his thing.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you would say that. I was, reading the comments, and I was just saying earlier about. I'm gonna touch on Jordan Davis for a second. He having him and Kobe Dean is a luxury. Number one. Number two, the fact that these two young men played longer. They played more football than anybody, and now you want them to jump out there and all of a sudden be, the starters on the team that's 6-0. It's unnecessary. I think. Once he gets his conditioning up, once he understands different concepts, how he's being blocked, things like that, he'll make a difference. You would mention Hargraves. Hargraves is getting $12 million this year. He ain't looking like a $12 million man for me. But I know that what Swerve said is true. Milton Williams is taking a few steps back. He doesn't look like the same guy who was out there. He and Teron Jackson are almost like they're Jags. They're just a guy. They're just there. And I know that we're going to need some help. We're going to need the rotational pieces. We're going to need these guys to get these reps. And everybody, they look at the numbers. I think it's when Jordan Davis is out there, it's like 3.92 yards per carry on the run. And then when Fletcher Cox is out there, it's like 5.9, like 5.92. I said, we're all smart. I know, Eagles fans know their stuff. So I gotta bring something to your attention. When Jordan Davis is out there, we're not in the 4-man front like we are with Fletcher Cox. We're normally in the 5-man front. You have Jordan at the nose, you have Fletch, you have Hargraves, you have Sweat, and you have Riddick. That's a 5-man front. I don't care who you are. Against a 5-man front, you're going to get 3.92 or less. It just makes sense. But when you have a 4-man front with 2 older guys, and depending on what the situation may be, like we may have, we may be in a nickel, we may be in big nickel. And most of that game, we were in big nickel, like a lot. There were times when you have CD Deuce in the slot, with Maddox in the slot. And that's how we decided to play them. So a guy like Epps, if he needs a breather or gets banged up, like CD did, that changes the whole dynamic. So I 1000% agree that a lot of our young guys, need to step up and they need to get on the field. But I'm a huge, again, I don't have all the answers, man, but I know talent, and I had big hopes for Wallace, and Wallace he's not it, man. He's not even a good special teamer. So I'm like, look, somebody like maybe Blankenship or somebody can come out there, somebody who just wants to hit, but this kid ain't not it, man. He's not it.
He looked so lost when he was out there, and then when he was out there, he looked. Marv dropped out. He probably dropped back in, but when he was out there, man, he looked like he just was just not a part of anything. Like he was just out there, like we was playing football in the regular, when we was kids, bro. Like he just didn't know where he was supposed to be. And I'm like, were you not in your playbook, man? You know what I'm saying? Did you understand that you had Zeke coming right through the gap? And you went. How do you overrun them? It's not like you guarding 60 yards behind you. It's only you. It was only really you, the end zone, and him.
That's it.
So where was you running?
Where were you going?
Run to the gap. If you just would have ran to the gap, you'd have been fine.
You would have met up with him.
Now you might not have won it.
He wanted that smoke. He ain't want that smoke.
Nah, he might not have won it, but he would have slowed him down. You know what I'm saying? Until somebody could have got there. I'm like, come on, bro.
Hold on, but but Zeke ain't even Zeke, right? So we've seen Zeke lose them battles. We've seen them dudes lose. We've seen Zeke. I remember we had a conversation about a year ago towards the end of the year when it was like Zeke ain't Zeke because he was losing one-on-ones. He might have lost one with Epps.
Yeah.
In the game where they blew us out, he might have lost the one-on-one down there in the red zone and the 5 going in. He lost one with Epps last year, and we was like, Zeke ain't the same Zeke no more. So Kayvon Wallace is way bigger than Epps. But Wallace has been a disappointment because I was so high on him. He was one of my guys. Like I picked these guys from college that I root for, and I was like, oh, he would be a perfect fit. He would be a perfect fit to come in and just be what we need. But I think he benefited from playing with. He's one of those guys. Like I watched a lot of them guys from Clemson. That Clemson defense flourish, and he's the one that seems to not be able to catch on. I don't know if it's systematic, or I don't know if he just ain't cutting it in this league. But it's Wallace. Like you got to look. All those guys from the Georgia defense, Grant, have like Walker and Davis look like they got it. Like they look like they got it. We haven't seen N'Kobe. N'Kobe's playing special teams, but we haven't seen N'Kobe because
we don't need to.
Yeah,
TJ Edwards. That's a good thing, man.
Yeah, TJ Edwards has stepped up, and Kazir White is playing good ball. Like we haven't seen N'Kobe because the linebackers are actually playing good football. So it's like I think Kayvon Wallace, he just benefited from being surrounded by talent. And you know what's crazy is you see that a lot at quarterback, or you see that a lot at quarterback You see that a lot when you talk linebacker. You see that a lot when you talk running back, but you don't see that when you talk safety. Like even D backs. Like we witnessed Asamoah. We signed Asamoah and Byron Maxwell. I don't know what we were thinking. We witnessed defensive backs look amazing playing in the systems they played in. But also, I think Bill Davis was really, really, really bad as a defensive coordinator with the whole
Bill Davis.
Byron Maxwell situation. Like
Yeah.
every chance I get to talk bad about Bill Davis, I'm going to take it. I'm
He
going to
did the
take it.
right thing. He was
Yeah,
trash.
Bill Davis is horrible, right?
So
But
so what other areas you guys think they can improve in? Just even like for example the coaching staff.
Oh, okay. You wanna go?
now you go first.
All right. So with the coaching staff, it's three things. One, I'm not even gonna say this. I'm gonna give them their flowers. Where that game plan this past week was marvelous, and what I mean by that is they knew, what the Cowboys' strength was, and they used it against them. Which is, if you want to rush up the field and you want to bring him up the field, perfectly fine. Here's this play action. Here's this, jet sweep.
RPO.
Here's, RPO. Here's this run. And I look at that and I say, Station, my man Johnson, the QB coach, Nick Sirianni, they came up with a great game plan. And then you also have Stoutland, who we have to be real. When Lane Johnson got out the game, it became a game. Because while he was in the game, it was lights out. It was over. And Stoutland still had Driscoll to the point that it's not like when he went out, Michael Parsons started getting sacks. It's not like Lawrence started getting sacks. They still stuck to the game plan, ran the ball up the middle, ran the ball off tackle. If I can say anything about the coaching staff, I think we need to be real about who we are, which is we have the number one offensive line in football. We need to run the ball until they stop us. And that's whether you use Miles, whether you use Gainwell, whether you use Scott, whether you use Sermon. I think we need to run the ball at all times. And then once they decide to come up, now you can hit them with the slant. Now you can hit them with the deep ball. Now you can throw the ball to Hurts. To Goddard. That's on the offensive side. On the defensive side, I think we said this in the beginning of the season, and I said it last year. Too many people, are getting down on Gannon, saying Gannon needs to do this, Gannon needs to do that. We made a strong point. Gannon's defense is what it is. It's up for his players to produce in the position that he puts them in. He's going to blitz from time to time, no doubt about it. He's definitely going to bring the heat when needed. But 90% of the time, he's counting on his defensive line to get the pressure. If they're not getting the pressure, that's not his fault. He's not here. He's like, look, I need you to do a job. And I think right now, winning games at 6-0, doing what we're doing, it's almost like everybody should be afraid because we still don't have the right personnel pieces in at all times. We still have guys that are learning. CD, got here 10 days before the season started, and he's going into defense. So clearly, Gannon knows.
He's been here for 10 years.
Yeah, like Gannon knows what he's doing. That back end that we got to give, hats off to our secondary coach, hats off to our linebacker coach, hats off to Rocker with that D line. At the end of the day, the scheme works. We just need everybody to come out there and show and prove. And my last point about coaching, again, Michael Clay, man, he's going to have to make some tough decisions over his bye week. And they should bring in some guys and have a return competition. They should bring in some guys and, some veterans who just want to go down there and smack people. I'm not one to dwell on the past, but I gotta point out one thing in the Super Bowl. We're up, Patriots about to get the ball. We kick the ball off. They try a reverse. And we don't have veteran defensive guys coming down there or veteran special teams players. That reverse works. They all stayed in their lane. They stayed home. They made the tackle for loss. We get them back there. Like special teams was our thing that year. Return and kickoff. So I think they need to put a little more investment into that. I know everybody is probably has forgotten about Devin Allen. I need Devin Allen to come in and play kickoff. I don't need him to return it. I need him to go down there and actually fly down there and make a tackle.
Something. Yeah.
How many of y'all watched it? Either y'all watched the game last night, the Broncos and Chargers?
Bro, I fell asleep probably around the end of the third quarter, bro.
You ain't missed nothing, man. I was up doing some other work, but
I didn't know lie to you.
They literally lost the game on a punt return. Literally, the brother went back to return. He waited for the fair catch. He lost the ball in the lights or something. His teammate gets blocked into him, hits off his chest. They pick it up. Next thing you know,
it happened last week too.
Yes. Yes. 2-3 plays later, they kick the field goal. So that's how important the return game is. And Maniac Matt, I'm with you. I'd rather see Boston Scott back there, returning kicks, but I think they value him too much as a running back. So I'm not. I mean, I don't know. I think we could take him. We could take Covey off. We could bring somebody else out there, man. But that's my take. Like I respect what the coaches are doing. I love the game plan, and I believe that we'll be perfectly fine, man. It's just a matter of we needed this bye week because now everybody, thinks they had us figured out and they knew what to do. And what's the kid, Magruder talking trash on us and whatnot. They know what time it is.
Oh, that clown.
Yeah, they know what time it is, man.
Let me jump in real quick, Marv. I got one thing, one point to what Dorsey said in regards to the coaching. You know what this team reminds me of? This team reminds me of? Y'all probably remember the 49ers between 88 and let's say 95 or 96, where those great 49ers teams morphed into whatever that particular game needed, right? On offense and defense. If it was going to be a shootout, they can throw it. If it needed to be something where they need to cut off the pass and grind and get running, they could do that, right? With Roger Craig or Tom Rathman, or whoever it was, John Taylor, Dwight Clark, or Brett Jones as you got older, they could do that, right? And then on defense, they had Keena Turner, they had Ronnie Lott, Eric Turner, you know what I'm saying? It's McKay. Too many people, man. Like Michael Carter, who however you needed them to win a game, they could do it. And this team, I'm not saying like they're going to be a dynasty. I'm not going to go that far down the line and say all that because that's kind of, being a little bit too bubble-headed. I ain't doing that. But these guys here have the makings to me of those sort of teams. You know what I'm saying? Now that, like I said, you need to fix the special teams part. But the core of those 49ers teams and how they could morph into whatever they needed to win on offense and defense reminds me of those 49ers teams. So that's all I got to say about that.
I agree with that. But that goes back to what I said earlier about we've seen them win multiple ways, right? We've seen the shootout with the Lions. We've seen them get down against Jacksonville and come back. Miles Sanders, like with that, and that's what people don't realize. Like, we're a run first team. We're still a run first team, right? Miles Sanders is third in the league in rushing. But what people don't realize is Jalen Hurts is sixth in the league in passing. So offensively, whatever you take away from us, you can take away from us because we're going to find a way to win offensively. Defensively, the goal is to make you take away whatever you do as a strength. Like against the Vikings, we talked about that. The goal, we didn't get a bunch of sacks against the Vikings, but the goal wasn't to get a bunch of sacks. The goal was to make Dalvin Cook non-existent. Non-existent.
Like Dalvin Cook.
Make Dalvin Cook not look like Dalvin Cook, and they accomplished that. The goal on Sunday was to make Zeke and Tony Pollard not be Zeke and Tony Pollard, and make Cooper Rush beat you. And we accomplished that. So it's like the casual, and I hate saying casual. Yeah, that's my son. That's my oldest son, Drewski, my oldest son. Drewski, my oldest son. I get that all the time. Um, the goal is to not let the run game beat you and win. If you telling me I can hold Zeke and Tony Pollard to under 20 yards in the half and go into the half up 20-3. Rush had the worst passer rating in half of football ever. That means I won the first half. Like you understand? Like I don't need sacks. If I go in a halftime 20-3, I don't need sacks because at that point sacks don't matter because we've accomplished the game plan. Like we played ball. Dorsey, you've coached at a high level. We played ball where in certain games going in you're going to get your number. Like
Mhm.
oh yeah, I'm gonna get 2.5 sacks tonight. Then there's certain games where I have to be disciplined and contained, and I might not get off tonight. But me not getting my numbers sack wise means that I'm keeping the running backs under control and they're not going crazy and it's going to lead to a dub. I'm completely fine with that. Offensive line, like you said, the offensive line, when Lane went out, Lane did the job. Like I was just telling some clown was telling me, oh, Lane had so much help against Micah Parsons. Lane didn't have help against Micah Parsons.
1-on-1.
The Eagles game plan for Micah Parsons. We
Big
ran the
time.
ball at Micah Parsons, and we took away everything Micah Parsons did as a strength. In the third quarter, the Eagles got away. Shane got a little too cute, and he kept calling the game like he had Lane Johnson in at right tackle, and that's when Micah Parsons got his pressures. But Black in our chat, we both said they need to run the ball because Driscoll, he might not be a top flight pass blocker, but the one thing I do know is that if
He's an
you put
elite run blocker.
Driscoll and Driscoll the ball, you can run the ball behind. You can run the ball behind Driscoll. Once the Eagles went back to the run game and they ran behind Driscoll, Driscoll was fine blocking Micah Parsons in the run. Driscoll was definite, and even when Lane went out, I mean not Landon, even when Landon went out, that right side when they ran the ball, the right side was fine. The right side was fine when they're running the ball. But if Lane goes out against Parsons, is out and Parsons gets off passing the ball, I don't expect Drake to win that battle if you're dropping Jalen back and asking Jalen to take more than a 3-step drop against Michael Parsons. So he's not going to win that battle. But when you tell him you can tee off and you can go at Michael Parsons and we can run the ball and pound the ball, oh yeah, I'm fine with Jake Driscoll. I'm fine with Driscoll as a run block. I think he's one of the better run blocking tackles in the league. And we do get Dillard back. What? We get Dillard back after the bye, don't
He
we?
should be back now. He could have
Nah,
played.
he was
He
out
could have
there.
played
He was out
on
there Sunday night.
Sunday.
He
Okay,
was
that's
out.
what I'm saying. Oh, got it. Okay, so yeah. Offensive line, I'm good. I'm good with the offensive line. I'm good with offensive line. Like you said, special teams, and I think I'm not going to say interior. If I was going to address the position in team, it would be interior line rather than defensive end. Hold on, and that's just my feelings. But I mean, I think right now we're going to 6-0. We got to buy. Everybody can get healthy. Our line can get solid. We're going to improve. We're going to go over film. We focus on Pittsburgh next. And we're just going to take it, like I've been saying, we're going to take it a week at a time. We're going to take it a
That's
week at
it.
a time.
That's
Yeah.
all.
Take it a week at a time.
Yeah, man. So it's the way I see it right now. If we're looking forward after the bye, bro, I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to defeat it. I'm not going to talk that as one game at a time. But if you just look at this schedule, I don't see a lot of losses on that schedule if they keep the same mentality. There's going to be games where they get complacent. Yeah, Drip, I see that. Appreciate you for the lookout on the 76ers tip, man.
Yeah, I'm watching that. I got the Phillies. That's why I came out tonight. I got the Phillies. I got the Sixers. And
Yeah,
I got the podcast.
it's
We live,
crazy,
baby.
ain't it?
We all the way live.
It's crazy, ain't it, man? But I don't see.
What a time to be alive in the city. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. Look, the
I don't.
Flyers even started off 2-0. They done rubbed off on them bum.
Yeah, I don't see too many losses on this schedule, provided they make sure
Hold
they.
on. I got a special guest lookalike, man. I got number 6, the number 6 from Wish. Come on. Come on, Devontae Smith, sit down and say "Go Birds" for me. Say "Go Birds, go Birds, go Birds, go Birds." I got boy. You never know who you run into when you out with me, man. I got Devontae Smith in the building.
Stupid, man.
I don't see too many losses on this schedule going forward, man. Just as long as they keep adapting the same mind state, these guys will be okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking right now. If they even let's say they went 7-4 the rest of the way, bro. That's still 13-4. You know what I'm saying? Like if you said let's say they go 5, they can't really can they go 5? No, they can go 6-5 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's still 12. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see them now. I can't even see them winning less than 12 games. You know, that's a real thing, man. Drewski frozen in the middle, man. There you go.
Devontae Smith messed up my internet.
Yeah, but the thing is, Dr. Shabazz, I don't want them to get too comfortable. Yeah, don't get too big headed. You know what I mean? You are supposed to celebrate your wins, but at a minimum, because you know there's a bigger purpose here, you know, and we definitely don't want them to lose track of that. We don't want to lose track of it as fans either. We need to keep on keeping them accountable for that when things do go a little different. That way they know they need to get back on track. You know, so go ahead, E. I know you had something to say.
No, I think now just to touch on everything that's going on right now, man. I think this next week is when, like you said, we need to evaluate, take a minute, rest up, you know, let the guys, you know, as they say, let your hair down, you know, let your hair down and relax. But as coaches, they should not take a week off. They should be in the lab, you know, focused and working on some things. I know Howie, you know, during the game was probably on his phone, you know, trying to work a trade, because I do think we're like 2 or 3 players away. I don't think this is a finished roster. Like somehow we have one of the better rosters in football, if not, top to bottom, I believe, you know, the best, but there are going to be some issues. Like we don't have the best special teams. We don't have the best punter. You know, I'm not in love with our defensive line rotation. I'm not in love with the safety room. I know, you know, we talked about that beginning of the season. And it's one of those things where if we intend to go for, you know, a chip, the goal isn't to go undefeated. That would be great, but that's not the goal. Like, who really cares about that? The Patriots were undefeated and they ended up 18-1. So it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you have to win the games that are out there for you, prepare every single week. And I believe that right now we need to be on the phones trying to get a pass rusher, trying to get a safety, trying to get this position. I know y'all not going to agree with me, but get another wide receiver, and I think we'll be just fine, man. Those are the positions that I think we can do better at. Because ultimately, and I love Quez, but Quez is the decoy right now. And Pascal hasn't been getting the reps that he was getting before. He's more like a run blocker. So until, you know, we get somebody else who can, you know, truly stretch the field, catch the ball, and do something fantastic, we're just nickel and diamond down the field, and I don't like it. So if we went out and, you know, the kid Tyree Jackson comes back at tight end and he looks good, you know, I know he can help stretch the field. If, you know, there are I wasn't interested in Robbie Anderson, but there are some receivers out there that I wouldn't mind, grabbing if they, they're ready to roll. But that's just where I'm at with. I think right now 6-0 feels great. I know everybody in the city's feeling lovely. The Sixers, the Flyers, the Phillies, like it's love, but Dallas is over with and gone.
Yeah, that's in the past now.
It's over and gone.
We beat them. We beat them to death for these last couple of days.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
They down. They hurting right now. So I'm gonna let them off the hook. You know,
absolutely, man. I would love Brian Burns, brother Odom. I told everybody that. If you're gonna get anybody, I want that guy. But it is what it is, man. I think I'm not a fan of DJ Moore. DJ Moore is trash. Sorry, I can't.
Hey, man.
Personally, I ain't like that brother at Maryland. That's me personally.
Well, he's playing with Faker Mayfield. And hey, you know what? I put my glasses on for that one. I remember telling y'all Faker Mayfield was going to be making my sandwich at Wawa in 5 years.
Sandwich at Wawa.
Because he definitely wasn't it. Now, I put my glasses on for this. Because when I see DJ Moore, I think DJ Moore is a player. I just think he got stuck with bad quarterbacking in Carolina. And then they bought him Faker Mayfield like he was the savior. He's trash. He's trash. I'm back to my what a time to be alive because we was talking about the city. Let me put my hoodie on.
Yeah, man.
Let me tell y'all what's about to happen. Like, I'm not even talking undefeated. Because I'm about to talk to the Cowboys fans again real fast.
No, we can't. We gotta get
on. No. Just one thing real simple. Right? We taking it a week at a time. Let me dust them off. It's kind of foggy in here. It's getting hot here because I put my hood on. We taking everything a week at a time. So the next 4 weeks, the Eagles should be at least 5-point favorites, right? You have Pittsburgh at home, then you have the Texans, then you have I think the Bears, and then you have the Colts, right? We're gonna go 1-0 every week. If the Eagles go 1-0 every week, right? The Eagles go 1-0 every week. They're 10-0 going into the game with the Packers.
Not worried about the Packers.
And the Packers don't look good. I'm just saying. I don't like to talk. I don't like to go. Yeah, Commanders. I said Commanders. It's Pittsburgh, Houston, Commanders, and Colts. Right. So let's hypothetically, the Eagles could realistically be 10-0 going into the meeting with the Packers. Bro, I'm not worried about Christmas Eve. If I'm 10-0, I'm not worried. If I'm 10-0, these glasses ain't. Man, listen.
Whoa.
Man, listen. Whoa. I'm not. Because I got a text from a Cowboys fan. That's why I'm addressing it. I'm not worried about seeing y'all Christmas Eve. I'm worried about the Steelers next week. Then I'm worried about the Texans on Thursday. Then I'm worried about the Commanders. Then I'm worried about the Colts. Then I'm worried about the Packers.
We don't sure not worried about Christmas Eve.
I'm not worried about Christmas Eve. I'm not worried about Christmas Eve. That's why I put my glasses back on. I got store brand Devontae Smith right here bringing me drinks. He said go Birds. He said he about to get another touchdown. I'm not worried about Christmas Eve. Y'all better hope that gonna lose to the Lions. Y'all better hope the Lions don't hang 40 on y'all.
And it's a possibility that may happen. But fellas, next week, same time, we're gonna lock in 8:00. We're gonna be free. Family that's out there tapping in with us. Make sure y'all ready for us next Tuesday. 8 o'clock.
Love the support. We love the support.
Please
hit the like, hit the subscribe.
To the podcast.
Philly the podcast. It's undefeated swerve.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm wearing my glasses next week too. I might even. Hey, I just had to. You know what? And I laugh because I was looking at old freestyle Jones. I said that in the comments. Remember when the bull got punched in the face? Y'all might not like watching. He said, "You mad because I'm styling on you." That's what I've been telling them. You mad because I'm styling on you.
Please.
Better gear Chris styling on you. I mean,
Get
like,
these
look,
views. Get
get
these
our views
views
up.
up.
City
Get
edition.
these views up, man. You know what I'm
We got it
saying?
popping. Hey, what a time to be alive. Like, listen, the Flyers is undefeated. The Flyers is undefeated. The
Man, look.
Flyers is the damn first place. No, listen. The Phillies,
Hey.
the Phillies are playing for a chance to go to the World Series. The Sixers, they gonna mess around and win the championship. They at least they going to the finals. James Harden, Slim James Harden. We got Slim James Harden. He got 19 at the half.
He
James
got
Harden got
23. He
19
got
at the
23
half.
right now. He got
Yeah, that's
23
like,
yeah.
right now.
oh
Yeah.
man, James. Hey, bro, what a time to be alive in the city. To choose. I mean, don't go to Patrigino's. To all you tourists, don't go to Patrigino's if you come to the city because we cheesesteaks. But
Everybody
if you
is
come to the city, what a time to be alive. We just beat the Cowboys. The Phillies are in the NLCS.
Oh
We got
man.
Skinny James Harden, and the Flyers are 2-0. And the Philadelphia Union get the #1 seed. Oh my God, the Phillies just hit a home run. Look at God.
man, we gotta go, man.
We gotta go,
Hey,
man.
We
We
gotta
we
gotta
out of
go,
go.
bro.
here. Thank
We
y'all
gotta
for
go.
tuning in.
Let these
Philly,
people
Philly,
get
the
back to
City
the
Edition.
get back to
Get
watching this
back to the
game,
game.
man.
Get back to the game. We appreciate the love and support.
Appreciate
We'll see y'all
everybody,
next
man.
week.
Hit the subscribe and like for Philly the podcast. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Walt.
Brandon,
You
Joe,
know what I'm saying?
Walt,
Neil,
Neil, everybody.
E, everybody.
What a time
And
to be
for all the
alive.
other views. Yeah, I said it. All
Yeah.
right.
We
We out.
Got you.
Yep.